at Strathmore. My name is Leslie Lundgren and I'm the exhibition manager here. And on behalf of Charlene McClellan, who is the mansion director, we are so pleased that you're joining us today. We have Eric Danker, our guest curator. He's from the National Gallery of Art. And we have Dario Zucchi, who is the artist of The Unexpected Smile. Welcome, both of you. Thank you so much.
To introduce Dario Zucchi, who I refer to as Il Maestro, because he is the master, and he is the master of juxtaposition. As you've seen looking at the photographs, his subject is the human figure. The human figure put into just the proper circumstances. Always seen from behind, almost. Mostly in front of paintings, but sometimes sculpture and sometimes photographs. And the amazing thing, to dismiss the question that comes first to everyone's mind, they are not posed. He's never offered to help anyone with their costume, or their hat, or their haircut, or their hair color. They are momentary. They exist as a juxtaposition for a moment, and that is the great talent of Dario, Dario's eye, to see what is possible, to put it together, and to record it, and then it will never exist in quite the same way again. And so these are the things that I think we need to acknowledge for Dario's artistry, as you've seen in the photographs upstairs. We will be happy to field questions, but I'm going to ask Dario to talk about a few things, and let him also introduce himself.
Well, I am Mario, and I have a great pleasure in what I am doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. And every time I go to a museum, first of all, I have the great pleasure of being in a beautiful place with beautiful art. And I inspect that art. And many times I don't understand that art, but I don't care about that because mostly I want to use the art for my specific purpose. If I want to go and see art that I like, I go, I don't take my camera and I enjoy it. But when I take my camera in a museum, I really don't care about the quality or the value of the art. I care about if the art works for me. And so, when I walk in first, I make an inspection of the museum and to see whether I can identify art that can work for me. Then, after a couple of hours of this exercise, I start looking around at visitors and to try to match a visitor and the art. And every time I see in my eyes that potential combination, I get so excited. I am so happy. I'm so energetic that I can stand in those museums from the opening time, which usually, being a member of most of them, is 1 hour before the opening to the public, until they kick me out. And if I, at the end, last minutes, if I see a person that works with a piece of art, I grab that person and say, stand with me for 5 minutes, and I will take the photograph, because it's so exciting. I am so happy. And my purpose is, first of all, to be happy myself. And then, when I have the opportunity, and most depends on Eric, to exhibit it, I am so happy to see people that looking at my art smile, because they are happy. Because I don't have any message whatsoever to send. I want just to make people as happy as I am when I do my photographs. And I think that in those circumstances, I try to put my brain on hold for a moment and to let only my eyes and my heart to work in order and to do something that is obvious visually and emotionally also for the people that look at what I do. This is great. Particularly at my age, I am so happy.
And so in Italian, sorriso is to smile. And so I wrote that Dario's photographs come in the Italian dictionary between sorriso, smile, and sorpresa, surprise, because that's really where the intersection comes. He often stands by the front door, notwithstanding the end of the day when you need to move somebody around, but essentially, let's put it in the vernacular, he stalks people. And he follows them until they come to the appropriate place. And then he will sometimes ask if they'll stand still. First of all, he always asks permission. And most of the time, they're happy to have their photograph done. But it's always from behind, so for the most part, they're not identifiable. The works themselves are identifiable, but they're in detail. And he may move them a little to the left or right. He may ask them to crouch just slightly so they're in the right place, but he never does more than that. And the amazing thing, when you go right back to the beginning of his career, when we go back 8 and 10 years ago in these photographs, the first of these great photographs, the one of the figure in front of Rousseau's Sleeping Gypsy, the woman who had the most magnificent and color-coded scarf that matched the painting. And we have spent the last 10 years explaining to people that it wasn't posed. It never was something that was anything but fortuitous in the truest sense, that it was accidental, but Dario's eye brings them together.
And indeed, at the beginning, I think that I started having an idea of doing the things 15 years ago. And at the beginning, I wanted to be candid, really candid, in the sense that I wanted to find the person in front, the right person in front of the right painting at the right moment in the right location. And then I realized that was silly, because I was missing so many opportunities. I was seeing the image, but that person, it was impossible that was standing in exactly where I wanted it to stand. And so I started compromising a little bit with my candor, and I decided that it's worth it to approach the person. When I see the combination of the art with the person, I approach the person, I try to smile as much as I can, and well, fortunately I don't look very threatening. And I asked the person, listen, first of all, I am not going to take a photograph of your face. For two reasons. First of all, because everybody will run away. Secondly, because I don't care about the face. Because, even worse, if I put the face of a person in one of my photographs, that will be a portrait of a stranger that nobody could care about, and then it will distract from the composition of my photograph. So, that is the key that opens all the doors. And I must say that 99% of the people react positively, because they see this old man just approaching him, asking a very unusual and surprising question, to take a photograph for the back of their head and so they got a little intrigued. And I said, what's going on here? But because I was smiling and I was not asking anything absurd, probably is absurd, but anyway. And they tried to cooperate very, very pleasantly. And so I bring those people, and as Eric was saying, just put them in the place where I want them to be. And I see that they have fun. And also the other visitors around that finally realize what I am doing. Usually there is a little crowd of people behind that comment and laugh and smile, and it's a kind of entertainment, which for me is extremely pleasant, because I have to interact. And then most of the time those people disappear and I don't have any trace possible. In other instances instead, there are people, particularly young people, that say, well, can I see the photograph? And I show them. And they, can I have one? Okay, so I give my business card with my email address, and I say, listen, see, you should send me an email with your description, of course, because I cannot recognize you. I will send you the photograph. And indeed, that is what happens. So there is this kind of 10, 15 seconds at the most connection with a pure stranger that I never met before. I met for 15 seconds and I will never meet again. But it's such an intense moment that really makes me very happy, which is my purpose. By the way, this morning I had a great surprise. I received an email from a stranger person, said that having seen this exhibition, think that has identified one of the persons, the visitors, in one of my photographs as his deceased mother. And he wanted, and described the photograph, and he wanted to know more information about that. And so I went, I keep a very, very detailed catalog of everything I do. And so I went back, I dug in that, I found the photograph, and I sent them, and I remember that lady. She was, not so young, she had white hair, but she was very elegant and very nice. And that happened maybe 5 years ago. But I remember that, which is great, gives me so much joy. Because, those brief encounters are so meaningful to me.